Hello, good day, beautiful people. I am the Inspirational Lady Noble 365 Tarot. Welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you will love this vibe, and everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This could be past, present, or future, you or someone around you. So take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. This is a general read. This is not a personal read. And if you like a personal read, check out the description below, and I'll be happy to assist you with doing so. Remember that tarot is a tool. It is not the final rule, and it is a good idea to keep an empty cup when you are on Lady Noble's channel and you really want to see what's up, okay? Be sure to tell a family, friend, or foe, or to come on over and subscribe to the channel so that they can be privy to these spiritual notifications. There is enough space in this place for everyone to be notified. So thank you for stopping by and saying hi. Hello there, okay? All right, I received a download, and the download is collective to be mindful of how you utilize your currency. When I say currency, I'm speaking about time, okay? Your time here on planet Earth, that is your currency because it is very valuable. So you'll hear me say that a lot in a lot of the messages and the readings here. And Spirit is saying to be mindful of allowing so many things to distract you because the more things that you allow to distract you in your personal life on a daily, it slowly but surely creates a magnified, increasing wedge between you and your divine purpose and between you and your divine happiness and bliss. And so, the more that you are distracted, the more friction you have in your life, you are creating a wedge, a distance, a hindrance of you stepping into your power, of you enjoying life, of you being happy, of you possibly doing some healing work or building or creating whatever it is that you desire for you and your family or your lineage. The ancestors, are saying that we need to be aware to not allow everything we see and hear and take it as face value. It's okay to check the scoreboard, but you don't need to stay for the whole game, collective. I repeat, it's okay to check the scoreboard, but you don't need to stay for the whole game, collective. Depending on what you see in the social media or the television. You do not have to allow these things to distract you to where every day of your life, every waking moment, you are utilizing what you see on the television or the sexual media. You are allowing these things to be the topic of discussion instead of focusing on yourself, instead of giving gratitude and thanks for having spirit in your body, which is the breath, having life. When you wake up, the first thing you should be doing is some kind of gratitude, instead of, wanting to indulge in the thoughts or putting your energy towards what you have seen in social media, what someone told you to be afraid of, or you better go stock up on, or this is happening, or people are being sent here and people are being sent there. The ancestors are saying for you to you may choose to forgive, but don't ever forget. The ancestors are saying that many of them suffered a great deal, and many of them has lost their lives, from being slaves, and there were a lot of things done to our ancestors. And while those things were being done, whether they were being stripped away from their families or being mishandled or misused in any kind of way, a lot of people turned the cheek. There were a lot of eyes and ears that chose to turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to what was going on with our ancestors, during slavery times. And so the ancestors are saying, just like back then, when there were many people who chose to turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to the mistreatment and the disrespect, and I can go on and on, that our ancestors suffered during slavery time, being stripped away from their families and being shipped off here and shipped off there. The ancestors are saying, don't forget that whatever you see in the media or on the television, and you hear of people being stripped away or shipped here and shipped there, for you to stay out of the way. A lot of things that you are seeing, it's okay to recognize it, but don't allow these things to take up your energy where you're absorbed into what you are being told or the information that's being distributed to you. The ancestors are saying, remember, everyone has karmic debt to pay. And Oh my. There's so much suffering that was endured, and we all are aware and we know this. It's okay to watch the television, but they're saying check the scoreboard every now and then. You don't have to stay for the whole game. Don't allow it to consume you and consume your life. Don't find yourself going about each and every day, and as soon as you hear someone bringing up a topic of whether it's about celebrities or politics or who's going to be shipped here and who can't live there, don't allow yourself to be so emotionally attached and saturated in the energy and the projection, because it's all just a distraction. Stay out of the way. The message is for us to stay out of the way. You can check the scoreboard, but you don't have to be saturated in this energy. Yes, you are aware. Yes, you notice what's taking place around you, but don't allow these things to distract you, and do not become emotionally involved or attached to these topics or these situations that you are hearing about. Just like the cheek was turned, eyes were closed, and deaf ears were taking action when our slaves were going through suffering. There's a massive shift taking place, and it's been happening for many, many decades. And the ancestors are saying, do not forget that when they were suffering and when they were enduring and when they were stripped from their families and many, many, many other things were done, that it was ignored, it was disregarded. And it's time for many of us to not allow these things to distract us when we hear about these topics or what's happening with other people outside of us. It is none of our business. It's okay to be aware, but we have to stop allowing these things to distract us. It's a good idea to stay focused on thyself. The more you engage, the more socially and emotionally connected you will become. And then you'll become distracted. And then you'll be derailed and thrown off track from pouring into thyself, learning thyself, and stepping into your purpose. So be mindful. Once again, you can check the scoreboard, but you don't have to stay for the whole game. You don't have to indulge in these topics at work. While you're in the waiting room, maybe you're at the dentist's office, or you're at the doctor's office, you're anywhere, you're waiting in line at the supermarket. When you hear people talking about these things, do not engage. Do not give your energy, because it counts, even if it's just a moment of conversation, to these things that are going on. They are pure distractions, and it is to derail you purposely and intentionally from your own goals. The ancestors saying, do not forget the suffering of many, many, many slaves who have transitioned and who are not here with us, who were ignored, and many people did not choose to engage or even show or express that they cared. So they want you to stay out of the way. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your life to pour into you, to work on you, to find out what you're passionate about. What is it that you want to build, that you want to create? This is your time, and they don't want you to miss the boat. Okay? Let's tap into the tarot. And it's not about being cold. It's about being honest and reality. It is what it is. The pendulum is swinging back. There's a massive shift that has been taking place, and it is what it is. You cannot expect things to stay one-sided forever. It's against the law. It's a natural response that is taking place. And sometimes we don't like it, but it's a natural response. Everything is where it needs to be according to previous actions that have been taken. Everything is where it needs to be according to previous actions that have been taken. Do not be fooled. Do not allow what you see in here to fool you into the energy of being full of panic and anxiety. We live in a plentiful universe, a plentiful world. And this is your season to reap your harvest and your abundance. And they don't want you being distracted. Doesn't matter what your ethnicity is, does not matter. Do not be distracted, okay? But everyone, person, place, or thing has some sort of karma to endure, some kind of balance that needs to be restored at this time. But don't you miss out on the prosperity, on the good stuff, because you're so focused on the negative stuff, the bad stuff, the sad stuff, the depressing things. Don't miss the boat. While everyone is over here distracted, you need to be focused, standing in the light, being the light, making sure you're staying inspired, seeing what is it that you can change. It can be just one thing, so maybe it could be something in your household. It can be something small, okay? All right, or something you want to show your children, or something you want to start doing with your family. It could be anything, but be mindful of being distracted. People are going to endure what is due to them. And as I say, I don't say often, but I'm being told to feel free and to let it roll. The Karma Cafe is always open, and you never know when your dose is coming. And that's not to be cold or malicious. It's just a reality. None of us know when it's time for us to reap what we have, put out. As I always express, what you put out comes back to you. And so that's why it's important to be mindful of where the mind goes, because, where the energy flow, or where your mind goes, period, vice versa. You get what I'm saying? Because it will come back to you, even if it's years later, even if it's decades later, whether it's a person, whether it's a group of people, whether it's an entity, whether it's a politician, whether it's an authority, whether it's an establishment. Yes, you cannot expect things to stay in balance forever. Change has to take place. Balance has to be restored. Balance has to be restored, not just with people, not just with the economy, in many areas, spiritually speaking, respectfully so. In many areas, let that marinate for a moment. So stop allowing yourself to become upset and overly passionate about circumstances that are out of your control, and circumstances that are taking place due to previous actions that were taken and may have been taken without you knowing about it. Maybe you, like I said, it's out of your control. You have nothing to do with it. You're just here living your life. You're trying to do the best you can for yourself and you and yours. Be mindful. With the Four of Pentacles, this is representing energy, the currency of where your energy goes. Make sure you're preserving your energy. Make sure you're saving that energy to build, to create, maybe to write that term paper, or apply for that loan, or apply for that grant, okay? Or to go in your garden and start that garden of vegetables and fruit, or to do that landscaping job, or go renovate that home, that property you have. Save your energy for things like that, or writing that book, or maybe you got a new hairstyle or a new haircut you want to try on a client. Put your energy there. Maybe you got a new recipe that you want to try out. Everybody gonna love it. Put your energy there. We have to stop giving our power away and be mindful of how we utilize our currency while we're here on the planet Earth. The goal is to be mindful of how you utilize it so that you can enjoy the abundance, so that you can experience the happiness, the bliss, the favor that is written in your contract for you, and it's personal, it's individual for all of us. And the ancestors don't want you to miss the boat or miss out on your turn, because you're giving your energy and your power away. It's none of your business who a celebrity is pregnant by. And yes, there are people who makes a lot of money having these discussions, celebrity blogs and gossip talk. It's very popular. Of course it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. But be mindful of allowing these things to really take up your time and like absorb you like a dry sponge. just absorb all your energy. Where you're so depleted because you've been watching celebrity gossip so long, oh, you don't even have time or energy for nothing else. As a matter of fact, you don't even want to be bothered with nothing else. You just really don't. Who cares who somebody is sleeping with? That has nothing to do with us. Someone's having a baby. Congratulations. That has nothing to do with us. Who's going to buy that baby's pamper and food? Their parent. Say congratulations and nothing else. And I'm getting to a point where yes, I have clicked on celebrity gossip, but I'm getting to a point where it's just it's not interesting to me. It's not interesting. And that means I'm blooming again. That's what that means. So that's a positive, and I know that. And it's becoming uninteresting because when you think about it, it's kind of weird. They're in a whole nother simulation. You're on the outside, you're a fan, a fanatic. Let that resonate, a fanatic. It's okay to admire someone's skill, their music, their trade, their hobby, but you're a fan, a fanatic. You're on the outside looking in. You're either going to like this person for their skill or their talent, or are you going to like them for what they do in their personal life? Because what I do in my personal life is really none your business. And what you do in your personal life, hey, is really none your business. These cards are just guidance, are just warnings, are just messages. But there's a need to be mindful. I'm not saying don't listen to anyone's music or buy or patronize any of their services. No, watch your movies, listen to the music. But Spirit is saying don't allow it to drain you where you can't focus on anything else. You keep saying that you want to start a podcast. You keep saying you're going to write that rough draft because you want to publish that book, but you keep saying it and not doing it because you're occupying your time with all these other things. Even the small conversations. Like I said, you can be in public and having a conversation for 2 to 3 minutes with a stranger can drain you. You can utilize that energy to get to the bag, to work on what you want to build, what you want to create. Don't be so distracted. You're either going to like a celebrity for their skill or talent, or are you going to like them for their personal life? They're human too. We're all human having human experiences. We are human beings and also spiritual beings. So be mindful of what you're giving your energy to. It becomes kind of weird to really have a clock in a calendar by anyone's gonads, their vaginal area, or their phallus. Whoever the parent of anybody's child, that is their business. It's don't be distracted. Be mindful and pay attention to patterns. When you see that NLP being thrown at you, that neurological linguistic programming being thrown at you, be mindful. That's that consistency of something in repetition. Pay attention to patterns. Message. I mean, it becomes weird. Just a lot of things is just not becoming interesting to me personally. I'm just going to say me. And I know why, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that I can shift my perception. I'm thankful that I can see things from a different view. I love music. I love movies. I love talent. But to want to sit and be critical and critique about what somebody else is doing, I really don't. I really don't. The next card we have here is the Ace of Wands. So this is your thumbs up emoji. This is the go ahead and make sure And it's okay. As a matter of fact, no, it's okay. You have permission, to proceed on that project or that idea, that thing that you're putting off to the side. Collective, it could be something as simple as, you know what, I really been saying I'm gonna go clean out the garage. I've been saying I'm gonna clean out the garage for 3-4 months now, but I haven't done it yet. There's something about being distracted here with what you're seeing on social media, with what you're seeing on television, that you need to be mindful that everyone has karmic debt to pay. And a lot of these things have nothing to do with you and are out of all of our control. It's deeper than what we are seeing. You can check the scoreboard. Yes, you can keep up. It's like I've heard people say, and it's funny when I hear it. It really is. Oh, I keep my TV on the news all day long. For what? You like being lied to them? Okay, we're gonna go to the next card, the Five of Swords here. These distractions will keep you in indecision, where you'll be constantly trying to figure things out, and they don't want you missing out on your opportunities. It's about you not being distracted, this read, and missing out on your opportunities. If you've clicked on one TV show or you've seen an ad, about a celebrity, okay, that's enough. One a day is enough, but all day long, mm-mm. Be mindful of patterns because you will mess around and miss out. You'll miss out. You'll miss out on an opportunity. Being distracted. Now I'm seeing somebody playing a sport. Okay, they're telling me to share this with you. It's like, an athlete, maybe a football player or a basketball player, a wonderful athlete who's very prolific in what they do. And maybe a beautiful woman walks onto the field or walks into the stadium, and the athlete, instead of focusing on the ball or focusing on, who they're going to throw the ball to, they turn their neck with the ball in their hand and they're distracted by the beautiful woman that walks into the stadium or walks into the play field or walks into sit down. They're distracted by the beauty. That's a good example of what this reading is speaking about. It's okay to admire the beauty. It's okay to like people. It's okay to like their skill or their talent. But if you're an athlete and you're playing basketball or football and your goal is to win and to score, one thing you should not be doing for certain is allowing the distractions to creep in. That's why many athletes in different areas practice retention. They practice semen retention. They make sure they abstain. They make sure that they're on their P's and Q's because they want to score. They want to have a good game. They want to focus. Distractions. They're saying there's a lot of distractions. Don't forget. The ancestors are saying, let it be. Don't forget the suffering we endured, that we went through, been going through, still are going through. But we're not hanging on that. But I'm bringing that up to distribute the message to you to be mindful. There's a lot of people who are getting so heavily, deeply, emotionally involved. We've had our years and times of looking over our shoulder and being concerned about our own. It's time to stay out the way. Check the scoreboard. Make sure you're aware of what's going on, but you don't have to stay there. You know, it's time to rest. It's time to rest. This shift is taking place and we are witnessing the change and the dismantling of many, many situations for a purpose and a reason. We are witnessing these things dismantle for a purpose and a reason. And even if it's uncomfortable, you may know someone who's going through something. Well, guess what? How do we get the change that we desire? How do we get the prayer, the manifestations? Something has got to give. The scales cannot stay in balance. The resonance has to be restored on planet Earth, on Mother Gaia. It has to be restored. And then when you have people constantly taking advantage and feeling like they're better than the next for such a long period of time, different things will occur. I'm not going to go down the list, but they're all in the media. They're the topic of discussions. Disasters will occur. Things will happen. Tower moments will happen. Like, how long do you think you could, I'm about to say, suck the wind out of something? You think you can drain the swamp before the swamp gets mad at you, metaphorically speaking? Like, how long you think you can take, and never give? We talk about reciprocity all the time. This applies to all things, all areas, spiritually speaking. We're always in the energy of change, evolution, metamorphosis. Things are constantly shifting and changing. This is something that has always been going on and happening. It's natural. But when a person is used to being at the top for so long, they're used to being up here for so long, it's a hard fall. And it's a hard fall because they become devastated. Spirit is saying, don't be devastated. Just move out the way. Move out the way. Keep your vibration up. Expect a positive outcome and stay focused on you. Don't go into the panic theory. Don't go into the hypothetical. Oh, I heard so and so. You see the shelves empty over there? Yeah, I think they're about to do it again. And I think they're about to do. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. I had someone tell me it was cold. Was it winter? It was like winter, fall, between winter and fall. It was a cold day where we were getting like ice and then it thaw ice. Like it was like on its way snowing, but it wasn't quite winter yet. And the lady said, "Oh, you see the weather? This out of nowhere. This is out of nowhere, collective." And I just looked at her and smiled because that's what I do. You see the weather? Oh, it's gonna be cold. You better go get you some salt. You see the news? I did not even know her, but I speak to people. Did you see the weather? Did you see the news? They say it's gonna be cold. You better go get you some of that salt. You better go stock up on some water. You better go get you some food. You better go. She just going off. She just going on and on. I didn't ask her nothing. I didn't ask her anything. I didn't know her. I didn't get upset. I just looked at her and smiled and said, "Have a nice day." Later. I didn't go buy nothing. I didn't go buy a thing. And guess what happened? The weather report she gave me, guess what happened? Nothing. It didn't snow at all. Now, had I gave in to the negative energy and the hypothetical, "Oh, you better, or this gonna happen, or they say it," I would have had probably a year's supply of rock salt stored somewhere. Oh, oh boy, hilarious. That really happened. That's a true story. She was like, "You better go buy. You better get your water, get your food. They say it's gonna be cold. They say it's gonna snow. You better get you some of that salt. You know they got it on sale, so and so." I looked at her and said, "Have a nice day." I went back in my house and I believe I laid down. I didn't go buy a thing. And I did not need that salt. Not that day. or at all. I did not need nothing she was talking about. I did not need nothing she was talking about. Nor did I sprinkle anything down either. You got to be mindful of buying into everything that you hear. Pay attention to patterns. Because you'll find yourself in that Nine of Swords energy, having insomnia, having anxiety, being full of worry. You need kuna matata or kuna matata. That's what you need to be in that kind of space. No worries. You seen Lion King. You need to be no worries. You need to be opposite of this. There's no need for you to be panicking at everything you hear. Even if someone that you know is going through it, that it hasn't come your way. That's why it's important to be mindful of your thoughts and raising your vibration and your frequency and coming out of that stinking thinking and being negative. You got to be mindful of all that. It all matters. I'm not saying you can make your life perfect, but it all matters. Every bit helps and it matters. It counts. Making sure you stay balanced. Make sure you're grounding yourself. Make sure you're doing the work that is necessary. So when those storms get to a brewing, you're able to stand strong, stand on all 10, and not be panicked, not be anxious, full of anxiety, worried, and stressing. There is no reason to go anywhere with no shopping cart, panicking, and it's no need for all that. That's a waste of energy. It's just a waste. This stuff is not real. It's like believing in a fictional book, reading a fictional book and a fictional character. And, if you want to believe it, it can be real. So you got to be careful. That's what this temperance is about, balance. That's why you got to be careful what you give your energy to, what you give your power to. What kind of energy are you projecting out? How you think about yourself, how you feel about life. What is your mental perception of people, places, and things? Do you see the cup half empty or do you see the cup half full? There are a lot of times where you're just going to have to just be still until further notice. And then you look up and you find out, you know what? I'm glad I did that. It turned out all right. The more you work on being still when there's chaos going on around you, you will find, that you're going to be more grateful and thankful because you're going to find out, I'm so glad I didn't waste my energy. I'm so glad, I'm so glad I didn't go buy that food and water and rock salt because this lady was talking to me like it was about to be a major storm and all the stores were going to close for the rest of the year. I mean, I didn't know this lady personally, but had I listened to her, I would have utilized all my energy. Number one, lady, I have food in my home. Why are you telling me to go to the store? And water too. And water too. Hilarious. That's a true story, though. A true story. And I didn't get upset. I just looked and laughed. I don't let this man-made stuff get you all in a rut. It's nothing you can do at the end of the day. But what you can is surrender the rest. No matter who you are, what you're coping with, you can only do what you can. You're only one person. You're only one person. Unless you want to turn into an octopus, go for it. Do what you can and chill. And chill. Spirit doesn't want you breaking your own heart. Self-inflicting stagnation and stress where there doesn't need to be. Yes, things will arrive that make you uncomfortable or situations where you don't know what's going to happen. Spirit is just saying clearly, just do what you can, surrender the rest. Don't buy into everything that you hear, and be mindful of giving too much attention, too much currency away to these things that are going on outside of you. Everyone has their own life going on, their their own world going on. Everyone has their own thing going on, their own simulation, their own opinion of how life should be and what should be done. And they're supposed to. That's natural. So while everyone else is in their world doing their thing, you remain in your own simulation. Don't go messing with their simulation. Stay out of there. Stay out of there. Stay out of their metaverse. You got your own. And what I always say, life is enough by itself with the Ten of Wands. Why add any more, anything else that will be heavy or that will be stressful to you? Why add any more extra worry or concerns? You don't need that. I don't have to know you to know you don't need that, but I'm pretty sure you don't want no extra BS in your life to be concerned about, stressed about. I'm pretty sure you don't want it. You would not want another box up here or somebody saying, can you take this other bag? I got a bag of BS for you. Can you hold my bag of BS over here? It ain't the truth. Some of it is lies, but can you still just hold it for me? And you would be like, get somebody else to do it. I'm pretty sure you'd be like, no, thank you. I can't help you. Take care of yourself, collective. This is about taking care of you. Self-preservation. Doesn't matter who you are. We all are valuable. We all matter. Even if you're watching this and you feel you don't matter, you are valuable and you do matter. You're very important. That's why you are here. We all have our own separate purpose and intention of why we are here at this time. And it needs to be respected and honored. But it can only be respected and honored when we choose to honor ourselves and be mindful of not allowing the things outside of us, to suck us dry of our energy, of our time, of our essence. Okay? Focus on that. You want to put your energy somewhere? Put your energy on that. There you go. Building, creating, building, creating, building, creating. Being mindful of how you circulate what you have. Being responsible, putting first things first. Okay, you can't do it all, but guess what? Do what you can. Just put something on that. You can't do the whole bill, do half of it, do a quarter of it. Just put something on that. They just want to see something. That's for somebody. They just want to see something. We all done been there. That ain't nothing to be ashamed of. They just want to see something. Do what you can and surrender the rest. Okay? Don't be fooled. And you see how that fist is clenched? You need to sign it right here, right now. You better go do that right now. You better go buy all that tissue right now. Did you see what happened? Did you see that video? What happened? Did you see? They're about to do this. They're about to up the prices. They're about to change this. Don't allow anyone to make you feel like they are the leader in your life, like they have, because a lot of these people and these entities really have illusional power. If you allow these people, places, and things to have authority in your life, then you will be affected by the different things they are distributing to you. That's if you allow it. Because just like you have free will, they have free will. Anyone can deliver a message. But you see the fist clench? You better, right here, right here, right here. You got to do it right now, right here, or else. This is going to happen, or else. Purchase this, or else. Buy this, or else. Don't you need this? Don't you need that? Don't you want trying to keep you in a constant energy of fury and worry and anxiety, trying to keep you in a constant energy of just being anxious or just stressed or thinking something's going to happen or I got to get this and I got to get that. No, you don't. Be mindful of who and what you are allowing to lead you. With the emperor here, lead you in your life. You have a choice. The choice is yours each and every day. Choose wisely. Choose wisely. You know what is fitting for you and what isn't. You know when something resonates with you and when it don't. If it don't, hey, it don't. You don't even have to argue about it. You don't have to get upset about it. Nah, no, thank you, and keep on moving. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Because if they can keep you in this energy of the Ten of Swords, feeling like you are burdened, feeling like you are overwhelmed, you are distracted, they can keep that wedge of keeping you from getting to know your true self and stepping into your purpose. This Ten of Swords is the energy of someone being heavily burdened, sad, in pain, feeling betrayed, feeling like the world is out to get them and there's no hope and there's no luck. And, oh, I might as well do this because there's nothing else to do. No, there's a lot to do. It's all about your perception. There's a lot of different things you can spend your time on. There's a lot of new interest things you may become interested in if you are exposed to the idea of it. But you can only be exposed to the idea of new things if you're mindful of what you give your currency to. You have to be mindful. Everything is coming back to balance. They're saying for you to be strong. You can't follow the lead what everybody else is doing and thinking. Maybe everybody else wants to engage in those topics, those hypotheticals of what if, and you better sign up for this or else. It's just like someone trying to sell you something. You better do this, you better do that. And you already got a policy. They want to sell you another one and tell you why you need another one. And all these hypotheticals. Get away from me with that negative energy, please. I'm sewing my quote here. I'm putting things together here. In order to have harmony in your life, in your relationships, in your home, the peace within, this can only be established when you are mindful. Mindful. It is possible to have peace and happiness in your home, in your life, in your relationships. It's possible, but you have to be mindful of what you are allowing into your world. What are you choosing to believe? Something about somebody needs to be mindful of someone coming to sell you something. Something about a sales pitch. There's a riddle, something in a sales pitch. Someone's going to approach you and try to sell you something. I was just mentioning insurance policy. Somebody already have an insurance policy. Maybe somebody want to sell you some kind of warranty or some kind of extra policy. But Spirit is saying whatever this person is offering you, you really don't need, and nor do you need to go back and forth. Just make it a simple no. The choice is yours. If you want to purchase extra, go ahead. But Spirit is saying you can just say no and let that conversation go. Okay? The next card we have here is Judgment, and this is the final card for this read here. And so Judgment is being called. Will you answer the call? Will you be mindful, more mindful of where, you choose to utilize your energy, of who you allow into your life? Do not allow people to disturb you, get you upset, have you full of anxiety. They're not saying to be oblivious or ignore what's going on around you. It's a good idea to always be responsible and be aware of what's going on. But do not allow the circumstances, because collective, there will always be something going on that is out of your control. There will always be something going on with other people in the world. But what matters most is you, how you're feeling, what you're doing, how you're going to build your life, the things you want to build, you want to create, the places you want to travel, not what everyone outside of you is doing. It's about you. So judgment is being called for you to focus on yourself. The ancestors are saying, don't forget the suffering that we endured. There were a lot of people who chose to ignore and turn the other cheek. They closed their eyes as well as their ears. And they did not give any extra attention. They did not waste their currency trying to lend a helping hand, especially emotionally, their concerns. They were not emotionally vocal about what was taking place. A few were, yeah, but we're not speaking about that. They're saying there's a larger number, a large, extremely large number that stayed out of the way. And they're saying for you to stay out of the way. Pay attention, don't ignore it, but don't become overly saturated and emotionally connected, because you may be trying to manifest and create, but end up knocking your own frequency down and pushing away something that is trying to be prepared and positioned to meet you in your path. But you maybe become too overly emotionally engaged in what you are hearing in the media, joining these conversations on your lunch break, or, when you get off work, having these conversations, these topics, and just becoming too involved. You're overextending your abilities. Self-preservation, pour into you, pour into thyself. This concludes the read. Later.